ladies, gentlemen, young people at the front. Rishi. Rishi is the youngest person we have here. And today I'll represent the oldest person. And we've got Alex here as well. Cool. So, guys, welcome. Thanks for coming today. If you haven't heard me speak, well, you're in for a treat. If you haven't heard me speak, like Jonathan's been to a couple of my talks, you're in for another treat. None of my workshops are ever the same because I always use the energy of what comes up in the room to give you the most that I can give you for not only today, but for the rest of your life, to give you strategies, to give you ideas, to challenge your ideas. So with that said, none of us love being challenged, but we need to be challenged in order to grow. True. If I support you and only support you today, it's going to be very hug me at some stage, but you're going to feel, where is this really going to take me in my life? How am I going to grow beyond being supported? And so what I'd like you to do is think that even when I'm challenging you, I'm doing it with love. Because if there's anything I've learned in my life, that the true definition of love is to give equal amounts and harmonious amounts of both challenge and support. So as a parent, I love my son. I give him a lot of support. You know, especially from the moment he was born, I give him a lot of support. And I'll tell you a bit of a special story about the day he was born a bit later. But the best thing I could do for him is to also challenge him. If I did everything for him, then I'm actually limiting his growth. If I did everything for him, then he's not allowing himself, and I'm not allowing him to grow, to expand, to use his creativity, to use his genius. So I have a philosophy, and I'm really glad that I learned this just before I had a son, and now I'm being challenged every day by it, because I've got to apply and live it, you know. And the truth of what I learned is this, that we are our children's parents, but we don't own them. We can't even really begin to imagine that they are our possession. They've come through us, but they are their own individual people. And they are their own geniuses. And they are their own human. And we've played a part already as a father, as a mother, which is the biological part. You know, we brought the components that allow them to come into this human life. But the rest is theirs. We can give guidance, we can give some support and challenge, as I was saying, which is part of love, but we can't do things for them, and we can't get them to do things for us. Just because you're my child, you must do this for me. I had that a lot growing up. So I'll touch on that as well. I'll touch on my personal experience. And I want to welcome you on this journey. We're here for about 3 hours, roughly, which is kind of the same amount of time that you'd spend if you went to the cinema. And some of you would say, I'd rather go to the cinema, especially the young ones, and watch a favourite movie or something than listen to this guy talk. But I promise you, there's going to be some actions, there's going to be some fun, there's going to be some interaction, there's going to be you talking as well, not just me all the time. And that's where we can interact. And no one's too young or too old to share wisdom. We can share our wisdom from the moment that we choose to. Even if we don't know how to speak, we can draw. You know? And so I want to bring out creativity. I want to bring out the genius in each and every one of us, and I want to bring out a lot of love. And I'm going to share a little secret with you for the adults in the room and the parents in the room. If the children want to hear this too, this is cool. We came here today, not just to be better parents, but we came here today to be better people. And the reason we want to be better people is because some of us probably didn't experience the ideal childhood. And so we're healing our own inner child today. That building growth and relationships with your child and your children is not necessarily the children that we've brought into this world and that's it, but your own inner child. Because one of the main ideas that I'm going to share with you today is that we can't give away something we haven't got. We need to have love within us. We need to have understanding and peace within us, our own inner child, and make peace with that first, and then we can give that to our children. We need to make love to ourselves first before we can make love to life. We need to make love to ourselves first before we can make love to our partners, for example. And so when I say make love, I'm talking about have the peace and the love in our heart. Not so much about consummating love, although you could take it that way if you like, but the idea is if you have love within you, you can give it out. If I have tea and coffee here, then I can offer that to you. But if I don't have it, then I can't give it. If I don't have love within me here, how can I talk to you about love? How can I give you love? Does that make sense? So we started out for the first part of today as setting our intention. This is really, really important. Who wants to share, who's okay with sharing what their intention is, what they'd like to get out of today? Did I see a hand go up? It's like an auction. You can go first, because
intention is to have a free flow of communication with my children and partner for us to be the best we possibly can and reach our highest goals in life.
Beautiful. That's awesome. And can you see from what I've started with my opening that that's the aim of today too? That's my intention too. Now that we both have an intention that we know aligns, we can meet it. We can achieve it together. But if you have an intention that's here, and my intention is here, how are we going to meet? How are we going to align our intentions and our purposes for today, right? So this is the first thing that I really want to explore with you. A lot of people go out every day, or even when they're at home, and they have an expectation on themselves and on their family, or on their peers, or on their workers, if they own a company or a business or whatever. But they don't explain or communicate that. So how are we going to achieve it if it's unexplained or uncommunicated, this expectation? So this leads me to the most, well, there's going to be lots of important, but one of the important points, I'm not going to say the most important one, because you'll all have different important points. If we have an expectation, it can either make or break the results of what we've got. If the expectation isn't set correctly and it isn't communicated, it could lead to disappointment. This is where we've heard the saying, expectations can be the mother of all disappointments. But if we have an expectation that is fair, it's communicated, it's expressed well, and everybody understands it, then there's a good chance everybody will work towards it, maybe even exceed it. Does that make sense? And so, first thing I would like you to write is, if I set an expectation on me or others, it needs to be fair and communicated. Whether it's my workers, my children, my family, it needs to be well communicated and expressed. If it's not a fair expectation, then maybe I need to readjust my expectation. And there's less of a chance that I'll be disappointed or anybody else will be disappointed. Does it make sense? Cool. So far so good. Anybody else wants to express their intention? Yep, sure.
I want to learn how to communicate effectively with my children and learn how to empower them to share their feelings and emotions freely with me. And to get the best out of this seminar, I'll call it seminar, that I can and ask questions and be open-minded and ready to absorb all the knowledge available to me.
Okay, perfect. It's really, really good. And it's very similar, isn't it? So again, we're in alignment. Michael, did you want to share?
Okay, it's I've come here without any knowledge at all
Sure.
about what
Who I am and what this is all about. Yep.
and the feelings or the challenges I think I have in understanding my child's emotional needs
Okay.
and broadening my responses. So at the moment I've got 3 responses, or you feel 3 responses. One could be anger.
Yes.
The other would be just hugging him when we're in a deadlock. I'm talking.
Yes, sure.
And the third one is distraction. But I'm limited to those 3. I try and avoid the first because that's not going to help me.
Okay.
So
So you've touched on something really important, and I don't want this to be missed, so I'm just going to write it here in red for me to remember it. Not red as in bad, but red as in remember. I colour code things sometimes because it helps me remember. I don't mean to cut you off. I want you to continue because I know there's more gold coming up. Keep going. That's anger. Sorry about my handwriting.
Sure. Well, that's pretty it. So at the moment I've got 3 feelings.
Yeah.
How hugging hurts most, but I don't feel I'm helping him either.
Okay.
Because we're just cooling the moment.
I love what you just said, man. Do you know what that just does? That reaffirms and reiterates to the entire group what I said earlier about support without the challenge.
Yeah.
So if I just support you today, which means I just hug you today, or I distract you today, it's not enough. I'm not dealing with the juice. I'm not dealing with what I need to be really dealing with. And so that's why I'm writing anger, and I'm even underlining it, because that was the other response that you felt you had, but I feel like you avoid it because you think it's completely negative, and I want to try and shed some light on this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be beneficial?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Distraction sounds good, though.
Yeah, distraction is pretty much the same as the hugging.
Yeah.
It's not getting in. It's
support.
the same situation with the feet, and we're not getting in.
How old is your son?
Oh, they're pretty young. I've got
Children.
3.5.
Yep.
2.
3.5 and 2. Yeah, this is the age bracket that my son's entering into.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be 2 next month, and I've been studying as much as I can, because I promise you, I'll introduce myself in a second so that everybody, like Pax and Michael and anybody else that hasn't met me before, I know Jonathan has, but his children haven't, you'll get to know who I am, why I'm here in front of you, and what my intention is in a minute. But first, I want to tell you, I've been studying and learning about the important age groups that we all go through. So for example, when we're born from 0 months, from the moment we enter into this world, to 1, we have a different learning and growing stage, level, compared to what we are from 1 and 2. And we're different from 2 to 3. And it differs every year of our life. It differs. And then, if you like, let me say it more like this, from 4 to 7, from 7 to 10, from 10 to 12, and so on. And these are all different stages of growth. Well, what I found out about 2 to 3, and for the guys that are a bit beyond that now, this is the time where you are such a sponge that you are learning and picking up skills that you're going to take on for the rest of your life. Now, if I ask Jordan, Jordan, how old are you?
I'm turning 18.
18?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're the best looking 18-year-old in the room. Cool. So you're turning 18. If I told you, Jordan, in your wisdom as a 17-year-old about to turn 18, would you take advice from your 2 to 3-year-old self?
Mm-hmm.
No, because you've experienced life a little bit differently, haven't you, in the last, say 15 years, from 2 to 3 to about 17 to 18, right? So there's 15 years of life experience in addition to what you've had as a 2 or 3-year-old. So what if I told you, though, unconsciously, beyond your logical brain that just said, no, I wouldn't take advice from my 2 to 3-year-old, is actually still got the programming of what you saw, what you learned, and all the skills that you thought I need for the rest of my life. From 2 to 3, you've got that locked in. And so we operate throughout our life. 17, 18, then we operate throughout our life when we get into like 20, 30, 40, still with the same skills and program. We may have tweaked some things along the way, but we still got the major life skills that we learned from 2 or 3. So now, can you imagine if you're in a household that's dysfunctional where the communication is really bad? Mum and dad don't know how to talk to each other. They either scream or yell, or they suppress because they want to calm the energy down. They don't want to fight. So they either scream or yell, or they suppress, and they don't talk about it. Either angry or avoid. What are you picking up as a 2 or 3-year-old? You start to see the world as either I express myself and it becomes angry and confrontational, or I suppress it, I keep it within me, I say nothing, and I avoid it altogether. Guess what, guys? We can't lie to children. And we've all been children, so we know this is the truth. They don't learn from what you tell them to do and what they see, and that's it. They learn differently to the way we learn as adults. We learn as adults